This is Tony Moore with Glow Time Radio. I'm here in the Nebraska Fire School, and I've got to tell you all, I've just met the very exciting Todd Burpo, who was the author of Heaven is for Real, so I've got some updates to tell you about that. But I'm here right now with Austin Brake and Rebecca Lagler, who are part of Lifeteam Recovery. Is it Lifeteam Recovery?
Lifeteam Critical Care Transport.
Okay, so what is Lifeteam Critical Care?
So Lifeteam Critical Care Transport, we are a physician-directed and patient-oriented company where we provide fixed-wing, rotor-wing, and ground critical care transport from patients from a scene accident to a higher level of care or from a local hospital to another higher level of care.
Okay, so these are generally critical care patients.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
And Rebecca, you're a registered nurse?
Correct.
So you just told me, now you go on the helicopter, so are you first to land there, usually?
It depends. Our bases are spread throughout our service area of Nebraska, Kansas, Texas, Colorado, and Hawaii. So a service area will be either serviced by a rotor, by a ground truck, or by a fixed wing, and we do have a couple of locations that are serviced by all three.
Okay. So Rebecca, who makes that call when to go with a lifeline recovery?
If it's a accident or a scene flight, a lot of times it's the local firefighters, the same volunteers that we're seeing all weekend here, or local EMS. If it's inter-facility, it's usually physician-driven, where they know that they don't have the surgery or the surgeon or the equipment
and it's
available.
life-threatening?
Yes.
Okay. You've got a fire department that, let's take, for example, a road accident, a severe road accident. They're already there, and the traffic has stopped. They make a decision to call you guys. Now, do both of you turn up, or do you decide that how do you decide who responds first?
It honestly depends on where the location of the incident is.
So let's say it's on a freeway.
And what they ask for.
Okay.
And what they're asking for.
So the paramedics on site are going to direct, okay, we have this situation. What sort of a situation is that?
Well, it could be something as drastic as a severe car accident where parties were ejected from a vehicle, there were fatalities on that in that same vehicle on that scene, or something as simple as just a heart attack where the local EMS service don't have the capability to care or transport that patient, so they can call us in and we can provide that time-critical transport to the hospital where that patient can receive the care they need.
Okay, so on the chopper, on the helicopter, you've got cardiovascular equipment.
Definitely. We, in our helicopter and on our fixed wing and our ground units, we are basically a mobile ER and ICU unit.
So, Rebecca, what sort of training have you got for this? Because we just had a conversation and you said, I meet the best people at the worst time of their life.
Yes, I meet some of the nicest people on the worst day of their life. I started in fire and EMS. I'm a basic EMT. I've been doing that since 1995. I have my RN degree. I worked in a critical access hospital, so less than 20 beds, for 10 years before I started flying.
Wow.
And did everything I possibly could, surgery, obstetrics, outpatient clinics, anything I could. But this was where my heart always was. And when I had the opportunity to do that, then...
So you're really a flying doctor now?
Well...
Flying nurse?
Not by a license, but we have an amazing amount of autonomy. We work for a doctor. He owns our company, and fantastic man, and very gracious and very much an advocate for us, and lets us practice at the top of our game.
Okay. So how often are you called out?
We average daily. A flight daily.
A flight daily, that's a lot. How many aircraft have you got in your life team?
In Nebraska, we have one rotor, one fixed wing, and 2 ground units. And then we have numerous ground, rotor, and fixed wing capability in Kansas. We have one fixed wing in Denver, Colorado, one in Austin, Texas, and we have 3 bases and 4 fixed wings and down in Hawaii.
So for my friends in London, just to get a perspective, you could probably fit England just about in Nebraska, and they're mentioning other places which makes them almost the size of Europe.
Well, at the fixed wing, it takes me no more than an hour to get to southern Kansas. So we'll offer backup to our helicopters and other fixed wings in Kansas, and we go to Kansas all the time.
And how long is that to drive from here to Kansas?
We're talking 4 to 6 hours. For what it takes us about an hour to fly.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
And those are on rural highways where you don't have much traffic and can go.
So another question then. You get a call from a local paramedic team and they've got a severe accident, road accident. Do you have to get all kind of special clearance to take off and be in the air lanes and land?
We file and report as lifeguard.
Okay.
That's a designation the FAA has for us, and then air traffic control knows that we're an active ambulance.
Okay,
and
so they clear the way for you. Okay. Life-threatening, wow. So tell me the worst thing that you've ever had to go to. I'm guessing it's a road accident or something like that.
It was, in the last accident I've had that really sticks out of my mind, I did have a car accident working on a base down in Kansas, and it was a single vehicle rollover with ejection, a very young...
so he'd been thrown out of the car?
He was thrown out of the vehicle, yes, not wearing a seatbelt, and it could have potentially helped that individual, but we'll never know. And unfortunately, that's we cared for that patient. We got him back. We had him in our care. He ended up going into cardiac arrest about twice for us. But
did he survive?
We got him back twice after that cardiac arrest, but after the third time, he
didn't make
expired.
It. How sad is that? So one piece of advice is everyone's got to wear a seatbelt.
Yes.
I mean, that goes without.
And helmets.
And helmets on bikes. You know, the funny thing is in England, a helmet is a requirement. You cannot ride a motorbike without a helmet. They had that law here, and then they repealed it because all the bikers didn't want to wear helmets, and it's kind of ridiculous, you know.
And that's probably my most labor-intensive call, was
Really?
a gentleman that was on a motorcycle. I'll bet you 3 hours, the hospital staff, the flight crew, we went back and forth and did everything we possibly could to let this man
live,
and it ended up being a futile...
Fatal. How sad. So you've just touched on a point. So both of you, when you're in the air, you've now got your patient in a secured environment. Are you monitoring backwards and forwards with the hospital? And is there someone on call helping you, asking for vitals, or what? How does that work?
So when we're transferring a patient from either a scene or a hospital to another hospital, that's our patient, that's our responsibility. We will give an update to the hospital that we are transferring the patient to let them know how they're doing. But should we need assistance or we need someone to bounce some ideas off of, Dr. Martin Selberg, our CEO and medical director of our company, is just a fantastic man. If we have a question at 3 a.m. or a question at 3 p.m., he will answer that, sound perfectly the same, not mind if we woke him up and be able to help us if we need it.
I don't know how I'd sound at 3 a.m. in the morning.
And he's always a very calming, clear, very, just a wonderful gift. To work for a man like that, he's...
So you're going out daily. That means you're doing over 300 calls a year.
Correct.
And every single one of these calls is a critical care call.
And that's per base. So
per base.
We have bases throughout, Nebraska and Kansas and so we're getting many patient transfers and flights a day.
With the fixed wing, like I said, we can go a little bit farther, and one of the gifts that we get is once in a while we'll get a call to pick up a patient at an airport. They've come from home, but they're going to go get a transplant.
Okay.
So they're chronically ill, but they're not acutely sick.
Okay.
They get to walk on our aircraft, and we get to accompany them to the second hospital. And then the next time that we talk to them, they have a new heart, or they have new lungs, and they have a new lease on life.
Cool.
And that is an amazing gift.
Yeah, it is to know that you're part of that. But it is a great gift that you've got, that you've chosen this way of life. And I don't think any of us believe that life is full of just coincidences. We're chosen to do the jobs that we're meant to do. I've got Rebecca Lagler, who is the registered nurse, and Austin Brake. So Austin works on the helicopters, Rebecca works on the fixed wing. Anything else you want to say to all the people in England that are listening to this?
We very much love our job, and we're happy to be there to help people in their greatest time of need.
Yeah, and the same for you, Rebecca.
Yes.
I can see that you seriously enjoy your work. It comes over when I'm looking at you.
I never could play ball. I can't sing. I can't dance. High school was very awkward for me, but I did find out God gave me one talent, and I get to use it. And I get to use it
every day
in an aircraft and be there at those times where after the medically taken, I can take care of their spirituality and their mental needs and help calm the anxiety. and that's where I feel really blessed.
That's really good, really
You know,
good.
the saying goes, you never work a day in your life if you love what you're doing. And Becca and I both absolutely love our jobs. So,
Well, I've seen you here a few years now, and we say each time, nice to see you again. This is Tony Moore with Lifeteam Critical Care Transport, interviewing with Rebecca, Beeson, Lagler and Austin Bray. Part 2 coming up shortly.